I'm very curious. What is business simulation?
So business simulation can mean anything. At its most simple, it's a game or a set of games to help people understand different aspects of business. There are lots of types of simulation. I facilitate board games. They're very visual, they're very tactile. Everything you can do, all the decisions you can make, all of the results that you can have, they sit right there on the table in front of you or on the walls.
Why should businesses hire you to train the staff to do the business simulation?
We have a think about this. If you're flying in the back of a plane, would you expect that the pilot did all their learning in a classroom with some PowerPoint slides? What about your surgeon?
Exactly, yeah.
We do by practice, right? So why do we do any different with a business? That's all we do. We let people practice decisions. So anybody who needs to make decisions in a business, or anybody who needs to understand decisions in the business, should have the chance to practice them, to see them play out, to see what the results are.
Can you tell me, like in different industries, how business simulations have maybe increased profit or made a difference in the team?
I think a lot of the success there is it's about learning the interrelations between different areas. We very often bring in not just a team, so we won't just train the HR team or the sales team. We'll put all of the teams together. And then the idea is that people play different roles.
Yeah.
Sure, you can increase success in the sales department by getting the sales team to increase prices slightly. But unless they understand the interrelation with the operations area and they learn how to appreciate each other, you may have a lot of sales, but that could drive your inventory up through uncertainty, all these sorts of things. Our job is to teach people the whole picture, so that when you make a decision or don't make a decision, you're doing it in the light of all of the results.
Yeah.
I think in business we're very good at understanding our KPIs, our areas, what success means for us in our department. We're not always so good at understanding what the real success looks like. And there's only one language for that.
So tell us about your background.
Even before that, I was in hospitality.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of work on the ground. I used to run bars, run pubs in the UK. I've done work in IT. I did a lot of years in logistics and manufacturing and consulting. Was lucky for the last 10 years or so to really be able to focus on people capability. But I've always maintained an interest in what happens in the real world. I think having the experience of, pushing pallets around a warehouse or serving customers in a restaurant, I think that really gives you the experience to be able to understand and empathize with what happens in the real world.
What's the margin, or how much can companies save or gain in terms of profits after the simulation training?
This is a common question that we get asked. What is the return on investment? My answer to this is always, what happens if you don't improve things?
Yeah.
Very often we take training in isolation. So we take some skills and we think that those skills need to happen in order for a business to get better. The more we can work with businesses to put skills where they're needed for particular projects, what we're doing is making the success of projects and initiatives more likely.
Yeah.
When we teach things like finance and strategy, actually the numbers become quite realistic. We can work with some very simple things. If we can.
You were saying about changing few cents on the product, how that could affect,
Yes.
profit margins. And I think that's what a lot of businesses are very interested in.
Talking with salespeople is always fascinating. Salespeople are driven by numbers and targets. They have to hit numbers and targets by the end of a month, and very often the way to do that is to discount what you have. This is a very simple phenomenon that we see. All we do by playing a simulation is we help salespeople, indeed other people, understand that instead of discounting by 5%, the change that you can make by increasing your prices by maybe to 0.5% is phenomenal. So we just help people to understand those mechanics. We're not naive enough to think that you don't have to change prices, that you don't have to discount sometimes. Of course we do, that's business. But
so through the business simulation, they see the causes and effects.
Absolutely.
Of their decisions, basically, right?
Yeah, in very simple terms, we can play a simulation that in which you can constantly discounting your prices, for
Yeah.
example. And if you play that on the long term, you will see that your business won't make money.
Yeah.
You can actually see that impact. So you can decide. We call that very simply strategy.
And instead of doing the decisions in real life, which would cost a lot of money, you have it in a simulation.
Exactly. Because what happens when you fail in a simulation? Nothing. Nothing. We can only learn, right?
Can
So
laugh
there
about it.
are no bad consequences. Yeah, we can laugh about it in real life, and we should, because mistakes are inevitable. But yes, we allow people to make mistakes in a safe environment. I don't think you can teach that. We only ever teach the right way to do things. It's very difficult to teach what happens or how it feels when you make a mistake. With a simulation, you can, because you practice it, you do it, you feel it, and then you laugh it off and do it right.
And you learn so much.
Absolutely.
So, what are the reasons why companies should do business simulation instead of traditional training?
I think a really simple reason is it's just less boring. When I see people come into a room to do a simulation, there's already things for them to get involved with. They walk in the room, there are things out on the table, there's money, there are books. Immediately you see the reaction on people's faces. It's sometimes a mixture of curiosity, even a little bit of fear perhaps, that people come in with. But general perception is, okay, today's going to be different. This is not going to be like a normal day. We introduce things like competition. Competition
Healthy
really
competition,
changes an
yeah.
environment. Healthy competition, of course, but people do get very competitive. But we think that environment creates a lot of fun. It creates a lot of energy. These are things that perhaps we struggle to get when we do traditional training. In a business simulation, we don't have to push the energy so hard. The process drives.
And
the
everyone
energy.
is part of it. Like I find with traditional training, it's one speaker and everyone else listens.
Yes.
And at the time, you feel that you're learning a lot.
Yes.
And then a few days later, it's just back to normal.
That's right.
And like my background is in education, and I've learned to teach in a more interactive, team-based setting.
Certainly.
And everyone is involved. The teacher doesn't actually do that much.
No, it's all very accessible.
What I find also incredible is that, like when you are in school, you've got this special bond with your classmates.
Yes.
Because you are learning together, you've experienced life together, you trust them, you know them. And when we get to work, we suddenly have to take away our character, our personality in a way, and put on this facade. And we aren't that close to our workmates.
Yes.
So I guess simulation, interactive learning would bring them together.
That's it. You take away the stress of the day-to-day. You don't have to pretend to be anybody else. In fact, in the simulation, we often see is that people's natural behaviors come out surprisingly quickly. Because we put them in almost kind of a stress scenario. A lot of things happen in a very short space of time. With a bit of competition and a bit of fun, very natural behaviors start to appear. It really tells us a lot about the dynamics of a team. And even in a simulation, we can often pick out the successes and failures of different groups purely on the way that they talk to each other, how they interact, whether they listen, or whether they collectively make decisions, whether they work as a good team. This really impacts their performance.
What institution or types of businesses would benefit from simulations?
Great question.
Is it only for businesses or?
No, I think it's for anybody. Certainly, this works right across industry. Actually, one of the beauties of my job is that I work across industry. If I take a topic such as helping non-finance people to understand business finance, it gives me great pleasure to be in an industrial equipment company one week and in an office full of lawyers the next week. The topic is the same. We're just trying to get money moving through the business, and we need people to understand how that happens. In terms of the roles, it's important that all roles understand the things that we try to simulate. The more we can get different roles working together, the better. So honestly, this is not for leaders. It works as well with university students as it does with graduates right through to senior leaders.
What companies have you worked with?
Gosh, lots of different types of companies. So everything from logistics to law, uh, lots in manufacturing, even the world's most advanced tech companies come to us to play board games. Would you believe that? The most
Incredible.
digitally
Yes,
advanced
yeah.
companies in the world, whose entire money is made on tech. You wouldn't believe how much their people love to walk into a room and play a board game for 2 days.
Also such a change of routine as well.
It's a change of pace. It's a change of routine. It's fun at the end of the day. Why do we play so many games when we're young? It's because it's fun. It's a great way to interact. It's a great way to socialize, and it's a great way to learn. As we've done this for thousands of years as humans. All we
The
do is
easiest
continue.
way for me to understand it, it's like playing Monopoly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have sets of different types of games,
Yeah, we do.
and each of them have a different purpose.
That's right. We have to have a different focus. It would be easy perhaps to try to put everything into one simulation, but that's just like real life. Real life has everything every day. That's what it's all about. What the beauty of a simulation is what is not included. By excluding things which are not important to the learning that day, we help people focus on what's important. That's the beauty of it. And that's why we have different types of games. So, whether we're supporting general business acumen, whether we're understanding strategy, even something as niche as how to merge two companies together can be put into a simulation format for people to better to understand.
Incredible. So besides the merging situation, what other situations can be simulated?
So let's take a couple of examples as we walk around the value chain of a business. First thing we do in a business is purchase things. We can simulate what happens when cost prices change. So we understand those things. We can simulate very operational parts of the business. So how our working capital gets used. What happens when we have too much of it? What happens when we have too little of it? We can simulate things around sales and understanding how to target different customers. What happens when we try to be everything to everybody versus having a niche. We even make this dynamic, so we see what happens when the companies around you change their mind and how you react to that. We do simulations that focus more on leadership and leading people. What happens when things in the environment change? How do you help people through those changes and do things in an effective way? Almost anything in a business you can simulate.
Incredible. How do companies get in touch with you?
Well, I like to encourage anybody to come and try it. It's really quite a unique experience and often difficult to describe until you actually come and have a go. So we have lots of people all around the world. We do lots of demonstrations. We love to just get people in to have a go at things. Then we take people from there. There's a game for everybody.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.